let's get into Kyle Tucker, because that is the top free agent available in most lists. He's number one. Kyle Tucker is the guy as far as all-star, a 30 home run guy, potentially a 30 stolen base guy. But is he the guy? Is he the guy that you think can be the face of a franchise? Because any player that is looking for $300 to $400 million, you would expect them to be a face of your franchise type of player. He has hit 30 home runs in a season twice, once in 2021, once in 2022. Last year for the Cubs, he hit 266, had a 377 on base, a 464 slug, a 136 weighted runs created plus. Did deal with some injuries throughout the season that really kind of derailed what was going to be a great year. All in all, he finished with 4.4 FWAR. If you look at some of the projections of his contract, Fangraphs has him at 10 years, $370 million. Some other ones have him at $400 million as his ceiling. And when you look at him as a player, the question is, what kind of player are you getting for him at the price that he's looking for? I mean, you look at those numbers, right? 4.5 WAR season, that's kind of what he is. 36% above average bat. His highest weighted runs created plus he's ever had in a season didn't play a full year. In a full year, it was a 146 weighted runs created plus, hit 294 with the Astros back in 2021. Those are really good numbers, not quite MVP numbers. And if you kind of look at where he was in 2024, that was on pace to be an MVP level year. Hit 289, 179 weighted runs created plus, at a 4.2 FWAR in 78 games. But then he lost 3 months due to a fracture in his right shin. And that kind of leveled up expectations. And I look at Kyle Tucker and I say to myself, is this truly a guy that feels like a Dodger? Is this the type of player that you really want to give that kind of money to? I mean, I look at Kyle Tucker and I think to myself, this is just the top item this year, right? But this is like one of those years where you don't have like that elite Christmas toy, right? It's like some years there's the Xbox, the Nintendo Wii, Tickle Me Elmo, Furby, and some years it's like the robot dog, right? It's just like that was the big present that year. The truth is, like, this is not a PS5. Like, this is not the Nintendo 64 when it first came out. This is not that. This just happens to be the top guy that's available this year. And yes, the Dodgers do have an outfield need, and he certainly would be a massive upgrade to what they have now. But according to Jeff Passan, he wrote, though Tucker makes sense for a Los Angeles Dodgers team in need of a productive outfield bat, sources said their interest is more likely to be on a high dollar, shorter term deal. So what the Dodgers are saying is, hey, at the right price, we would consider you, but we are not doing the blank check thing. We're not doing the Ohtani thing, the Yamamoto thing. We have a cap to what we'd be willing to pay you. And that tells you, I think, everything you need to know about the kind of player he is and how the Dodgers view him. Think about this. The Cubs traded for him. Chicago's a big market. And yes, they haven't given out all the big, massive deals like the Dodgers, the Yankees, or the Mets, but they have money to spend if they wanted to spend it. The Cubs traded for Kyle Tucker, and they have virtually no interest in signing him to a long-term deal. The Cubs traded for Kyle Tucker, and Cubs fans don't really think that, oh, we need to sign Kyle Tucker back. It's not like when Juan Soto went to the Mets and Yankees fans like, man, we lost Juan Soto. It's not like that. And just imagine if Kyle Tucker were in another free agent class. Imagine if he was a part of the class that had Aaron Judge and a part of the class that included Juan Soto or Ohtani's class or some of these guys. Would we even be talking about him with the Dodgers as a realistic option? No, you wouldn't. Because the Dodgers only pay for special. They only break the bank. They only back up the Brinks truck for special. I know you see those tier lists, and the S tier, when it goes to the Dodgers, stands for special. Kyle Tucker is not special. He's extremely good. He has the talent and the ability to put together an elite season when you combine all of his traits, but he doesn't do one thing in particular that's elite or great. He just doesn't. And then just look, let's close our eyes for a second and just kind of say some of these names. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Kyle Tucker. It doesn't even sound like a Dodger. Doesn't feel like a Dodger. I mean, you mean to tell me they would give $300+ million for a player that might end up having the 7th best-selling jersey on the team that he signed with? Right? Another thing I heard about Kyle Tucker, which I found pretty interesting, is he's dealt with injuries. He's missed time throughout his career, and some of his injuries are ones where they're like not season ending, but it just takes longer for him to come back than you would for some of those injuries. And there was an injury that he had last year where he had the calf injury. He had that calf injury in September, a left calf strain. And he was working with the Cubs doctors, but then all of a sudden, Kyle Tucker goes to Tampa, goes back home to Florida to see his own doctors to look at his calf. Like, if that happened in Los Angeles, if that happened in New York, I think it would have been a big story. Just imagine that. I mean, we know what Walker Buehler did last year. He kind of went back to work on his own stuff in Kentucky, but that was a totally different thing. Imagine Kyle Tucker not trusting the Dodgers' health and staff, like their trainers. Imagine that. It's almost incomprehensible. So look, at the right price, I would absolutely, like, if you told me, hey, I could get Kyle Tucker for Cody Bellinger money, sure. Kyle Tucker is a better player than Cody Bellinger at the same price. But Kyle Tucker for double Cody Bellinger money? No, absolutely not. Like the Dodgers, like I said, they only do special. Is Kyle Tucker a mansion in Beverly Hills? Fine. But if he's a mansion in Beverly Hills, Shohei Ohtani is a 50-foot yacht. No, he's a spaceship. No, he's a trip to outer space. And Yamamoto's a private island somewhere, right? So, look, we know what the Dodgers offered Bryce Harper a couple years ago. It was 4 years, $180 million. And that would be at a $45 million AAV. But here's the other thing about Kyle Tucker. He's not a Scott Boras client. He's represented by XL. And XL has not done the moves that Scott Boras has done in recent years, where Boras with Blake Snell and Boras with Cody Bellinger has signed his clients to deals that get them high AAVs, but also give them the ability to opt out and retest the market. I don't think that's going to be the case with Tucker. I think Tucker, he's a guy that I could see signing with the San Francisco Giants. I could see signing with the Toronto Blue Jays. That's the market that he needs to be in. He needs to be swimming in those waters. And I'm talking about that next tier. Tier 1, Dodgers, Yankees, Mets. Like that's that first tier you're looking at. And even that is as far as results go, the Dodgers are the only one in that group that's actually winning World Series. Another team I would consider if I was signing Kyle Tucker would be the Philadelphia Phillies. I certainly think that he makes sense for the Phillies. So yeah, he's a really good player. He's a really good player. He doesn't feel like a star on the Los Angeles Dodgers. And look, you might not think this, But I can tell you from speaking to people within the Dodgers organization, that stuff matters. It really does. Putting butts in the seats, drawing over 4 million fans, it matters. Look at the guys they have now. Look at the guys they've been willing to pay. Shohei Ohtani, best player of all time. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, best pitcher in Japanese baseball history in the NPB, World Series hero, World Series MVP, and you got him at 25 at a time when no teams have access to ace-level pitchers at that age when you can just pay them outright. Freddie Freeman fell into the lap, World Series MVP, future Hall of Famer. Mookie Betts, you get him at 28, future Hall of Famer. Kyle Tucker is not any of those guys. So I know it's, like I said, I know he is the top free agent this year. But I think it's just because it's kind of a weak year for free agents. And look, he would help, but honestly, give me Cody Bellinger at a fraction of the price. Give me Cody Bellinger at a fraction of the price. Trade for Jarren Duran. Trade for Byron Buxton. If I could have all three of those, when I look at the cost to acquire the net benefits, I would take all three of those guys over getting Kyle Tucker at that price. So I know I look like a Kyle Tucker hater. I'm not. I mean, it's just in the words of the great Randy Jackson, that's a no from me, dog, on the Kyle Tucker front at that price. So let me get your comments on that. And I can sell you on Tucker too. The sell job on Tucker is that first, he jammed his right hand while diving into second base, trying to steal a base. The Cubs said the x-rays came back negative. He played through it. He had his best month of the year, hit 311 in June, had a 578 slug, and then he just fell off the face of the earth. So another major con was after June, he hit 189 and had one home run in 38 games from the start of July through the end of August. So it got to a point last year where Craig Counsell gave him a mental reset and sat him down. And then it was reported in late August that he had a small fracture between his ring finger and his pinky, and that's what happened on that stolen base attempt. So even though those x-rays came negative, he was playing through an injury. He came back to the lineup a little later, hit 259, had 375 on base. He had hit 266, had 22 home runs, 25 steals, had 87 walks, 88 strikeouts in that stretch. So these numbers look more like the 2021, 2023 version of Kyle Tucker. So there's good Tuck, there's bad Tuck. Beginning of the year, end of the year. He'll be entering his age 29 season. If you sign him to a 10 or 11 year deal, you're taking him to his age 38, age 39 season. So that kind of lines him up with the Guerreros, the Sotos, the Bogarts, the Trey Turners, guys who got paid through their age 40 season. Look, the production he's had, he definitely kind of warrants a deal like that. But yeah, I want all your thoughts on Kyle Tucker. Right now, to me, he's not that guy. Like I said, this is one of those Christmases where you don't have like the toy you have to have. You just don't. We got BC Bryce. Would have been a good outfield option. Career 1,000 OPS in the playoffs. 4-seater 777. We need a group of Dodgers Nation fans and LA fans trip to the Hawaiian Islands. D-Max shirts inspired Talk Dodgers story. Yeah, this is kind of my fun shirt Friday. But I'll tell you something. My washer dryer machine is broken. I had a dude come out yesterday. It cost me $500 to fix. I'm going to have to buy like a new one. The washer and dryers, they're super expensive. They're like $2,000 at this point. So I had to break out the Friday fun shirt on a Wednesday. So that's kind of where we're at. Now, let's keep going to the comments. We'll talk about Tarek Skubal. Puig is available. Puig is available. Puig is available. Very available. Extremely available. And we'll see if he gets that minor league tryout that he's hoping for. No Tucker, no Belly. We had DFA Cody. Why Cody? Go back and watch yesterday's episode because he's a totally different player now. Cody Bellinger is the 16th most difficult hitter to strike out in Major League Baseball. He used to be one of the easiest to strike out when he was struggling. He's totally changed. He's been a different type of hitter.